There we are. Now, 1, 2, 3, let's get started. Go.
If you could summarize your opinion towards women.
What I think of them?
Yes.
I do think they are very important, but...
This is going to be a good show. Oh, wait, hold up. What is it? Incel is short for involuntary celibate. An incel, a member of an online subcommunity that centers around not being sexually active despite desiring to be. Exactly. I agree with this. This is what technically I am. Unfortunately, technically, this is what I am. So let's keep it going.
Some topics are hard to approach.
More and more male hatred against women is rising up.
You might call this a new phenomenon.
Either the subjects are inaccessible or people are uncomfortable discussing them.
If you're an ugly guy, you better get a good job and make some money, because nobody's going to want to talk to you.
Girls, I will destroy you.
You don't deserve to get laid at all!
So we found those subjects in
Jesus
person, rented a space in Hollywood, and invited our audience and any strangers walking by to come inside and ask them anything.
Oh, this is very interesting, Jubilee. I can't believe I haven't seen this.
Hey, I'm Brendio. I also go by Derek. I'm an incel, and I'm here to answer people's questions about the topic.
Oh, shit. Oh. So they know he's an incel. Okay.
I can start?
The hate.
Hi,
I feel like
how are you?
So much hate.
Hi, I'm good.
Okay.
So you're an incel?
Yes.
Why would you ever sign up to do this?
I suppose I would want to give more of a positive light on this community, which is a very negative light upon it.
Okay. And do you think that's a good thing?
Yeah.
Yes.
Why is that?
Because a lot of the boys in this community aren't bad people.
But you acknowledge that a good handful of them are, right?
Not a good handful, I would say a small handful.
Yeah, I agree with
Who hurt you, or what happened? What event sort of catalyzed this way of thinking and you getting into this kind of research?
that. Wait, she said who hurt you? What'd you say, Derek?
Society.
Society.
Do you hate women?
Do you
no.
hate women? No.
No.
Do you have a role model in your life?
A female role model.
Female.
Like a mom or an aunt or a friend?
I mean, I love my mom.
Yeah.
I wouldn't necessarily
Most
consider her
people
a
love
role
their
model,
mom.
but I do love her quite a bit.
If a woman was elected as president of the United States, how would you react?
I don't know. It probably would depend on the woman. I probably wouldn't be supportive of it, honestly, but
Derek.
Say that if you don't mind me asking.
I do think that men should be the leaders and women should be the caregivers and the
I
the
agree with
loving,
some of that,
supporting, and the
but-
teachers in some cases.
Since
There's some
women
outliers.
of color or just women in general have been oppressed by certain systems and other oppressed communities, especially LGBTQ+, all those don't really fit with the spectrum that incels or you have been talking about. So why do you think your method of thought would help fix what we have today?
I probably wouldn't view the things that you might view as oppression as oppression. I have a feeling. I would view it more as how we treat children that we love. We control them, but we control them lovingly, not as a slave, not as we're forcing them to do things against their will. I would view it more as a loving domestic thing in the past. And I would say that if we were to do it in a civilized way, maybe in a more, even a Christian way, even though I'm not really advocating for a certain religion or ideology,
What is he talking about?
I would assume that women would probably be happier. And I wouldn't just assume that blindly, I would assume that based on the data that I have seen.
What data
data?
have you seen
Yeah,
that has brought you to
facts.
this conclusion? Because I'm now curious where I can get this data from.
Yeah, me too. He's talking about his ass.
I couldn't reference it offhand, but I believe there was a study that I can't remember the name of it off the top of my head.
Okay.
What do you think it is about liberal areas that create behavior in women that you think is a problem?
Promiscuity leads to increased standards in more primitive aspects, such as looks. And that typically makes it harder for some people to find a relationship, including sometimes good-looking people. There's guys who are much better looking than I am who are having a really hard time finding someone in a place like LA or in London or in Auckland, New Zealand. But they probably would have a perfectly fine time finding a woman somewhere else.
So you think that promiscuity is the problem, and if people were more monogamous and more withholding, that would sort of fix society?
No.
Yeah, I suppose if people were more traditionalist.
shootings in the past where these shooters actually stated that they were incels or were radicalized by online incels. What do you think about their actions?
They use the movement.
I condemn their actions. I don't believe violence is the solution. I don't believe attacking random people is going to fix anything, whether they're women or men. I do think that the reason why they committed those actions was probably because of out of desperation or out of mental problems that probably could have been prevented had the right support was in their community, in their household. If people saw what they were posting and saw what they were experiencing in life and did something to help them.
Was there like a pivotal moment in your life, like a straw that broke the metaphorical camel's back?
It's constant years of rejection, no matter who the person was, constant years of rejection in other aspects of my life. It did kind of push me towards more, I suppose, radical beliefs, but I suppose they're only like radical, but they're more just old beliefs, really.
No, it sounds like I had another like metaphor, like death by 1,000 cuts. It's not like one pivotal moment, but it sounds like a bunch of things built up over time.
Yeah,
you getting it.
One of the common criticisms about the incel community is that you feel entitled to sex or intimacy. Do you believe that you deserve sex or intimacy from a woman?
I think everybody at some level deserves someone that loves them and,
maybe
respects them, as long as you are also loving and respectful towards that person. They're an equal. You're not like seeking someone beyond yourself. You don't have like too high standards, I suppose.
If you can tell the world about something about being incel that, that may not be in the internet or that's overlooked heavily, what would it be?
I don't know. I think it's mostly that most of the men are not inherently bad people. A lot of them are just lonely. They just need some help, really.
This is true.
Okay. Would you say that there's anything that other people can do to help guide or just support or?
That's a good question. I don't know. Yeah, that's a good question. I wonder what he's gonna say. I don't have an answer for it.
The lonely person in your class or the lonely person in your workplace, maybe he's an incel and he's not letting you know, and he's just kind of afraid to. He wants someone positive. Just be nice. Say hi. Try and make friends with him. You don't have to date him. You don't have to whatever. Just brighten up someone lonely's day, I suppose.
Oh. Okay, noted. Thank you.
You don't want to be an incel?
No. Well, I mean, it's part of the whole involuntarily thing.
Yeah.
I mean, you want to try and escape it. You want to be something better. You want to get a wife, get a girlfriend, get someone who loves you, spend your life with them, and be happy. And
what's one thing you wish people understood better about you?
I don't know. I guess I wish people would recognize how much effort I'm trying, I suppose. Like, I'm working out typically daily. I've lost over 100 pounds. I'm out there job hunting actively. I don't think people recognize how much effort the incels in general try to put into bettering themselves. I would say, people don't recognize their effort. They just assume that they're all like lazy and sad and angry at women and just giving up and
I get it, but
things of that nature.
Derek is spitting right now.
Okay.
You don't have to see the bad things in the world and then come out a bad person. You can just see the bad things in the world and then improve upon yourself because of them, I suppose.
So you do have hope.
Yeah, I have hope, yeah.
You need hope,
I'm a very hopeful person, I suppose.
I won't lie, this went a lot differently than I thought it would. I thought we'd be yelling at each other,
It was nice to meet you.
It was nice to meet you too.
Thank you so much.
That was nice.
Hello, thanks for watching the video.
All right, yeah, that was nice. Good job, Jubilee. That was good. I can't believe I haven't seen that before as an incel, but that's very interesting. Derek was absolutely right what he was saying. As an incel myself, it's just a lot of misunderstandings, but you get it because the media show a side, and people who get extreme sometimes latch on to the incel community because it's just a name. It's a boogeyman for people sometimes. So I get it. I get it 100%. But this was good. I liked it. They gave him a chance to respond. It wasn't a lot of hate. And he was more even keel. And I think he's like most incels. He's not really too extreme, but he's a little bit. Some of his views are a little bit. But I think he's like most incels. But that was great. I heard there's a documentary about incels. I'm not gonna make this an incel channel, but I am reacting and just watching stuff that I was interested in. If you watch it, you watch it. If you don't, it's okay. But subscribe, I'm at almost 80. I do reactions to everything, but this was very interesting and I liked it. So, and all my incels out there, it's gonna get better, buddies. I know people don't like to hear that, especially in the incel community, but you gotta have some hope. If you just down, then there's no hope. So, hey, keep your head up, incel, my brothers. One day I'm not gonna be an incel. I think I'm 31 now. I think I'm not gonna be an incel very soon. I'm too good looking. I'm too attractive. Look at these muscles, beating ladies off with a stick. Not yet, but eventually. All right, stay critical, my friends. Peace.